1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content this morning, please join me in welcoming our featured guests, Bill and Cheryl Murphy, Firearms Training Associates. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us. Joe Juliani, PLB Coffee. Welcome, Joe.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Ask Your Mortgage Advocate section this morning. Fannie Mae's research shows a perceived negative equity. What the heck is that one all about? So Fannie Mae comes out with all these different reports. They've got the Fannie Mae Economic and Strategic Research Group, and they're talking about the issues. And this is just a report that came out on August 3rd. It's a national housing survey looking into folks who are not refinancing their properties, who are not buying new properties, even though they believe they need a new property. Why are they not doing it? According to the research, they don't realize that they've got equity in their property and that they could go and buy a new piece of property, or they could refinance, they could get rid of that mortgage insurance, they could consolidate their debt. All of those are options, but according to Fannie Mae, the people don't know it, so they're not doing it. Got to get that information out there. I share with you all the time, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin. They are great websites. They make a lot of money. They get a lot of advertisers. They are not necessarily your friend. If you look deep into their websites, they will actually tell you, especially on Zillow, and I've shared this with you before, they will actually tell you that they're going to be off by as much as 20 or 30% in property valuations, and how frequently they're off by 20 or 30%. Pretty amazing statistics, and if you know where to find it, you can find that information. If you don't know where to find it, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I will share with you where to get that information. That is the Ask Your Mortgage Advocate section this morning. Obviously, we are looking at the jobs report. That's a big issue right now. Yeah, I know the government was really excited yesterday. We had 185,000 people getting new jobs. Unfortunately, first-time filings for unemployment, 270,000 for the week ended August 1st. And they tell you that the economy is doing really, really well. Why is the stock market going up if the economy is doing so well? Why is the bond market going down? Well, here's the issue. Here's the answer. Quite simple. Regardless of the Federal Reserve coming out and saying that they are going to raise interest rates, until the data really shows that the economy is doing well, they're not going to do it. They're not going to raise the interest rates. And as long as interest rates stay strong, well, that's why the big guys on Wall Street are making more and more money. That's why the stock market had been going up. That's why the bond market had been going down. Just mathematics, when the bond market goes down, interest rates go up. I'm looking right now, though, the 10-year U.S. Treasury down 4 basis points I'd like to share with you. People don't understand basis points. I can understand that because they're not into the technical jargon of the industry. So here's how you understand what a basis point is. If you think about a $1 bill is equal to 1%, 1 basis point would be equal to 1 penny. So when we talk about the U.S. 10-year Treasury going down 4 basis points, it's like 4/100ths of a percent. So just as a little bit of information for you right there. Moving right along into the news today. You gotta love the news of the day. New York City, they've got to be one of the looniest cities of the world. And now we find out where they're taking their education system.
What are you doing?
Yeah, the question is, what are you doing? So here's what they're doing. Now, if you are an 11th grader in New York City, the mandatory reading list includes the 3 Little Pigs.
Damn!
Could you imagine that, having to read the 3 Little Pigs as an 11th grader? Only in America. But then again, they can't figure out what size sodas they're allowed to drink in New York City either. So more and more going on. We wouldn't even want to get into a conversation of their mayor there. Unbelievable loon he is. Speaking of, well, I better not say speaking of loons when I'm getting ready to do a story about the President of the United States. But I will, what the heck. Referring to the people in Congress, especially the Republicans, and comparing them to the mullahs and the goofballs in Iran. They're yelling death to America. Yeah, that was yesterday that the president pulled that line out, that he was doing one of his speech trying to convince the American people how great his capitulation with Iran is, and he's comparing the people that are patriots in the Congress. And I don't know that they're all great people. I know that they've got a good heart, I would think, that they're looking to do the right thing. Maybe they try and do it the wrong way, but they're trying to do the right thing, I think. But unbelievable, where now they're talking about this crazy issue. And I gotta pull out, I've got this, you gotta find my favorite soundtrack, because this is for the young, well, maybe they're not all young people in San Diego, California. I don't know if you're able to hear that one, but think about this. We have this, that's what this story is all about. Unbelievable. The intelligence of some of the folks in San Diego. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with a gentleman named Mark Dice. Now, this is an interesting story that Mark Dice actually went and did this, but he was traveling in San Diego, California with a camera and a microphone. The microphone had a very, very official looking cube of dice on the camera, on the microphone. And he asked people, and I'm going to quote this because I can't make this up. One of Hillary Clinton's primary campaign promises is to repeal the Bill of Rights to help with the New World Order. Do you think it's time we get behind her and support her repeal? Well, the folks decided that once they heard that it was Hillary Clinton, yeah, they're going to follow exactly what she says over and over again. Can you possibly believe that? Well, it might be some of the same people who Mr. Dice just a few weeks earlier went to similar areas, and this one could have caused some serious problems, but again, it is the sheep on the left who came up with this. He asked a few months back if people supported President Obama's plan to launch a nuclear strike into Russia. And he got every one of the people that he asked that said, yes, we support the president. Can you imagine that? I can't make this stuff up. Go to YouTube, look up Mark Dice, you'll see the information. Now, I think it's crazy that people would just follow blindly like this. But the people of Russia, they weren't too excited about it. Wonder why? Unbelievable. At least we are seeing now there are a total of 3 House Democrats that may be breaking ranks. Now, that guy's pretty annoying in here today. But they've actually come out and said they're not going to follow the president on this. I'm going to use the term, and I've said this privately, I'll say it publicly. I think that the president's Iran deal is actually a precursor to leading us into World War III. And I know that sounds out there, But think about this. What happened in World War II, 1938, when most of the world turned a blind eye to what Hitler was doing and killing people, killing Jews, taking one little bit of land at a time? Well, what's happening right now in the Middle East? We're turning a blind eye as they take one little bit of land at a time. They're killing all the Christians over in the area because they're Christian? Why? And what is the Americans doing? I'm going to suggest in most instances, nothing. Why? Strictly because of a lack of leadership. I get into these debates on a regular basis. Well, there's all these other countries involved. Well, all these other countries do what America does. They follow us. Up until this presidency, that's what's happened, is we have been the leader of the world. This president thinks that his job is to lead from behind or spend his days on the golf course. Unbelievable. Stand up, America. Think. Look what's going on in San Diego alone when they talk about repealing the Bill of Rights. Really? Come on. And the other one, I'm not going to even repeat that one. If you want to listen to it, we've got it recorded. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk. I learned a lot about firearms. I knew that it was something important, but boy, after spending a couple of days at Bill and Cheryl Murphy's Firearms Training Associates, did my eyes open. I want to share that experience with you. And my eyes are even more open now because I had some of Joe Giuliani's coffee. Remember, you can reach me anytime. Call us at our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL lendingteam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Do you have a loved one who wants to stay in their home, but you have health concerns about it? The Preferred Care team understands the challenges of caring for your loved ones. Their goal is to keep seniors as independent as possible while maintaining their health, safety, and overall well-being. Whether you need just a few hours a week or 24-hour care, Preferred Care caregivers are trained to meet your needs. Call Preferred Care at 714-696-9150. That's 714-696-9150. Or visit preferredcare.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today brought to you by Commerce for a Cause, a great organization. Think about this: if you have a business and you collect credit cards, and then obviously you're going to pay a credit card processing fee. Where does that money go to? Where does that fee go to? Probably not to the charity of your choice. With Commerce for a Cause, they'll match your credit card processing fee and then give a rebate of 20% of that processing fee to the charity of your choice. How do you go wrong there? It's a no-brainer. 9 tips. I'm not going to go to all of these. Just some tips for buying a second. Actually, how to buy a home you can afford is what this one really is. Number 1, check your credit score. Look at your cash flow. Have cash for a down payment. Do not believe you need 20% down payment. That is not true. A lot of people think they have. I talked to you about that financial planner, that certified financial planner, saying you needed 20% for a down payment. No, you do not. Plan for the surprise expenses. If you own a home, there will be expenses involved. Get pre-approved for the mortgage before you go out shopping. Find a great real estate agent. Give me a call. I'll put you in touch. 800-306-1990. Start hunting for spaces within your price range. If you have about a $400,000 budget, don't go looking at $500,000 houses. When you find one you can afford, you will be disappointed. There's a difference in price points. Look at floor plans before you go out to see properties. You can look at the plans, and there are some virtual tours online. Put in an offer you're comfortable with, and don't get emotionally tied to the property until after you get the keys. It is just another piece of property until the keys are in your hand. That's when it becomes yours. That's when it becomes meaningful. That is the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. Speaking of for a cause, I'm going to share with you a little bit of my experience here. And I last time we had Bill and Cheryl Murphy on, I knew that I was interested in, and I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I was one of these people that felt for many, many years growing up that guns were best held in the hands of the police, law enforcement, military. We didn't need them in our lives. You know, they were there. They were great for those people who had that affinity. It wasn't me. And after what I've seen going on, I don't know whether it's because I got old, because I see more, because I talk to so many more people, I felt that changed in my life. I felt that there was a need for the individual citizen to have a gun, but it was more important, or equally as important, if you have a gun, you better get trained. You better know what you're doing. And I went and spent a weekend at some courses at Firearms Training Associates. Great courses, enlightened me unbelievably. Not only my belief that you need to be trained, but how little we really know about guns and gun safety and the value. So I'm really thrilled that Bill and Cheryl Murphy are back with us, and I can actually speak this time not from an ignorant perspective. Now I'm just a little less ignorant.
Thank you. It's just wonderful to talk to educated people.
So the course I went through, it was a concealed carry permit course. Is that where most people get started?
No, most people start at a basic class, and usually the male of the house or the male child has a great interest in firearms training, and the female of the house is brought kicking and screaming by the male. And so then what happens is at the end of the class, the female says, wow, this is wonderful. This is empowerment. This is where I can go ahead and go for a walk at 9 o'clock at night and not have to worry about being attacked by a coyote, a dog, a human being, or anything everything, and it gives them the freedom to be willing to go ahead and go out into situations where they might now be reserved because they don't have firearms experience or knowledge or ability to carry a gun. So what happens, most people start at a more basic level. We consider the CCW class to be a very advanced class because you leave that class and the concept should be in your mind that you may have to kill something to provide for your own safety. So we think this is a very advanced class.
And I could certainly understand, because I saw there was such a wide variety of people and vocations, in that class. I mean, it was from soup to nuts of the because they started off the course going through and talking about, what brought you here, what are you looking for, and the rules, right? I mean, that was the first thing, is knowing the rules that, hey, there's nothing supposed to be at the end of that gun unless it's looking to be destroyed.
The safety rules are just so important, and we invested, Cheryl and I, in the Eddie Eagle program when it first came out in the NRA, and it was about firearms safety in the home. And what happened is so many people have so many phobias about firearms that they wouldn't let the children get exposed to this. And all it was a program to prevent kids from accidentally being shot when there was no adult in the house or around the firearm that's maybe found in a field. And so what happens, people have built-in phobias. If there were this many phobias about cars, it'd be great to drive the freeways. I'd get a faster car.
Absolutely, right? We wouldn't need the same regulations on the cars, because really that was 90%, maybe less than 90%, but as a significant portion of what we learned was the safety of it and knowledge of the weapon and capacity, what it could do. But the important thing that I took away was be ready, but let's look at all the options before you have to fire a firearm.
If you're using a firearm in self-defense, that means you've probably made some mistakes leading up to that, or the attacker was so sudden and violent you really had no options. Because we strongly recommend force options, travel multiple people, have a flashlight that you can go ahead and shine into somebody's eyes, have a chemical irritant. So by the time it's gotten all the way to a firearm, something so terrible is about to happen, and you have no choice at that point. But we like to tell the people is that it's what you do leading up to the firearms event. If I can end this with pepper spray, if I can take away their anonymity by shining a flashlight on them, all those are valuable tools before it escalates.
And that was my takeaway right there was, hey, be prepared. But the education level said, I had no clue the idea of the flashlight and how important. I mean, they basically shared with us, have a flashlight. If you're gonna have a gun, have a flashlight.
It's so important that my shirt says Surefire, and so that's the flashlight company. But what happens is that people just think the gun, and the gun is the final means. But what happens is we want to stop this short. So what happens, so many trainers don't understand the concept that we don't look to fight with guns. We don't look to shoot people. Is we look to solve this problem before it gets that far.
What's the first class? I mean, if I've got a 23-year-old son. Actually, I've got 3 sons, but say my 23-year-old never held a gun in his life. I held a gun in Boy Scouts. That was the only time that I had ever touched a gun. 23-year-old, what's the first class that he should go to?
Basic recreational handgun, definitely.
Basic, and what's he going to learn at basic recreational handgun?
How to be safe with a firearm.
Okay.
How to transport it legally, how to go ahead and shoot it. But what happens is we're going to start with a building block approach. We're going to give him a warm, comfortable feeling about the firearm. And then what happens, we go to general handgun. And general handguns are a 2-day, completely comprehensive course. And what that's going to do is teach you how to clear malfunctions, to shoot on the move, to involve multiple targets. The average level of the average concealed weapons person being trained in Southern California or around the United States is very, very low. They'll get more training in a 2-day general handgun than they ever will carrying a gun for concealed weapons with requalifications and all that. They'll just never get to a level above the 3rd grade.
Now, my son doesn't own a firearm. Can he still come to the class?
Perfect. Why go buy something? It's like buying real estate, trying to see which house fits your needs. And so come shoot our weapons. It costs you nothing. You just pay for the ammunition that goes into them. And then what happens, you pick what feels good for you. The average woman has more than one pair of black shoes. And
in my household, there's a lot more than one. I only have my wife, 3 sons, and there's a lot of black shoes in our house.
So one firearm won't get you through everything, but what happened is you can find a firearm that you like, and there'll be different versions of that, different sizes, different models of that they'll be comfortable with using.
And it's great that way. You can try them before you buy them. And every one is going to be a different. I mean, I looked at one and my hands are big. Right, so it didn't feel comfortable for me, and they handed me a separate one.
People are always asking me, Cheryl, what's the best firearm for me? And I always tell them, it's like I can't go to a shoe store and pick out a pair of shoes for you. You have to try it on, you have to walk with them, you have to see what's right for you. There's no one gun that is good for everybody. Everybody has their own. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah, I thought it was just all about, when I look at a Walmart or a gun store or whatever, I thought that it was just about selling, but it really is a specific thing. I mean, when you really think about it, why would you want a one-size-fits-all for something that's so serious? I mean, firearms are not a toy. And if you're looking at something along these lines, make sure you go to a very, very professional place. We're going to talk more with Bill and Cheryl Murphy. Joe Juliani is going to join our conversation. He's going to talk about coffee. Better have your coffee before you go fire an weapon. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is bad credit holding you back? Did the economic and real estate crisis cripple your credit? There is hope. There is a solution. The Ascent Network is a nonprofit organization that has been helping individuals nationwide repair their credit. Don't let bad credit and the mistakes of the past dictate your financial future. Call Ascent today to take that first step to getting your credit back on track. You can reach Ascent by calling toll-free at 877-871-2400. That's 877-871-2400. Once again, that toll-free number is 877-871-2400. Don't delay. Call Ascent today.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by the VIP Hero program. Yes, I love this program. I like all these programs. I guess maybe that's why I created so many of them. VIP Hero program, that is geared for military, active, retired, reserve, law enforcement, firefighters, teachers, first responders, and we've got a whole host of people who will give you all discounts on the purchase of your new home. $5,000 to $10,000 in rebates when you use one of the providers within the Ron Siegel VIP Hero program. Tips for buying a second home. So we talked earlier about how to buy a home you can afford. Now we're going to talk about tips for buying the second home. Know how to compare the cost of a location. You may not be there all the time. How are you going to deal with that? Even sellers might need more cash than expected. Know how much you can afford. That's obviously a basic one. Need extra cash in reserves. Know your credit scores. You need that for this one also. Larger down payment than normal on a second home. Don't rely on online valuation tools. I always tell you those are wasted. Call a professional in the area. Work with an agent who fully understands the area. I've shared this with people in the past because not everybody understands. How about if you're going to buy a house, and as you know, I do quite a bit out in the PGA West area, La Quinta, California, love it out there. If you are on the wrong side of the golf course, it can actually mean $100,000 difference in valuation just by being same property, just on one side of the course as opposed to the other. Just because you may not get some unintended visitors like golf balls coming at you. That is the Word on Wealth segment, again brought to you by the VIP Hero program. How to get involved with the heroes. You got to say thank you all the time. We can't do what we do if it wasn't for them doing what they do all the time. Speaking this morning now, Joe Giuliani, PLB Coffee. Mr. Barista of the morning.
No, I'm not a barista. That takes a lot of talent. There's a lot of talented baristas out there.
Absolutely. So you're saying you don't have any talent?
I have some talent. It's just not in baristing.
Okay.
That's all it is.
So tell me, what is a specialty? I always thought that Starbucks was a specialty coffee, and I'm not a big fan. So tell me, what is a specialty coffee?
Specialty coffee is small batch roasted. Okay.
Small batch roasted. So we roast in 12.5 pound kilo roasters, and everything is done individually. Okay, now I'm not real good at this metric stuff. I know there's one of the Democrats.
It's about 25 pounds.
12, because you said 12.5 pound kilo.
12.5 kilo roaster.
Okay.
So it's about 25 pounds.
Who's that guy running for president? It's on the liberal side, so I don't remember who it is. That was the top thing. Lincoln Jaffe. That was the top thing on his agenda, was converting America into the metric system. Most important thing we have to worry about.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so you're doing these in 12.5 kilo roasters.
Right, and specialty coffee is all about select beans, hand-selected, fair trade, with the farmers over in Central and South America. Specialty coffee is also rated just like wine. It has to exceed, some say 80 points or better, some say 85 points or better. So it's just like wine where it's rated.
I like the 90 point or better.
We love 90 points in wine, absolutely. And we love 90 points in coffee also. It's phenomenal.
Interesting.
As you've tasted this morning with our community blend.
Right, that was very different.
In which way?
Well, I mean, I'm usually one of those people that likes to mask most of the flavors of coffee, I think. I don't know whether it's masking. I just enjoy it with cream. I don't put sugar in it. But I usually like cream or half and half or something like that. This morning we tasted, which one?
The community blend.
Community blend, and I put nothing in it.
That's specialty coffee. That's roasted correctly, hand-selected beans, low acidity, a lot of fruit, a lot of chocolate in there. As both Cheryl and Bill tasted this
It's
morning.
absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
I
very
loved
good.
it.
Now, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a little oversized. People that can see us or watching us, a little oversized. So if I save those, I think, 10 calories for the cream I put in the morning?
Oh, so they could get up to
So-
About 50 or 60.
Is it 50 or 60
Oh,
calories?
absolutely.
So 60 calories, and I know I'm going to do 50, so it's 700 days I'll lose a pound.
There you go.
Okay, so every 2 years of drinking your coffee, every 2 years, I'm going to lose 1 pound by drinking the coffee.
There you go.
So it's a weight loss product.
They've actually did a study.
I'll get you some psyllium.
They actually did a study with decaffeinated coffee that they did a study on that supposedly leads to weight loss. Our decaf coffee is what they call a Swiss water decaf, which is
Better than California water because we don't have any.
exactly we can't do it here. We can't do California water decaffeinated coffee, so we have to go all the way to the Swiss Alps to do it. Correct?
Right.
How the beans get from Central America to Switzerland, I have no idea, but that's how it's. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Airplane.
Right, exactly.
I think they fill those cats with them, and then the feral cats walk there with the beans
There
in
you
them.
go. There you go.
And
That's
dump them
exactly
into
right.
Switzerland.
That's
There we go.
I know two dipsticks that drank that stuff and bragged about it. I have a cat's ass.
Espresso versus coffee. What is the difference?
Well, I mean, your espresso is, as a barista would tell me, it's a certain ratio of water to extract the coffee. So what they do is they actually take about 18 grams of coffee to extract an espresso shot with about 130 pounds of pressure of water to equally extract the coffee from the bean or the grounds. So when someone says, oh, I'm going to have an espresso and have a ton of caffeine jolt, well, when you look at the ratio of like our community blend coffee of just a 12-ounce cup of coffee, just black, versus a single shot of espresso, you're going to get more caffeine in 1 cup of coffee than you are in that espresso, because all it is the extraction.
You know something? That's way too complex for me. I'm a simple guy.
Then just have a cup of coffee. Either have the community blend or the Rebel Roast of PLB, and you'll be set for the rest of the day.
I've been accused of being a rebel many, many times.
That's why. we
Especially
came
the
out
people that
with
listen to our
Rebel.
opening segments on a regular basis. I get a lot of calls about being a rebel then. So tell me, what makes a great cup of coffee other than the person making it?
You know what? From farm to cup is what we like to talk about. It was actually a good friend of mine that owns a great, can I plug his coffee shop
Sure.
in Orange? Oh, Bodie Leaf Coffee Traders in Orange on Catella, right across from Home Depot. Amazing coffee company, but the whole theory is farm to cup. And there is so many different things that need to happen for that perfect cup. So when that farmer takes the time to pick that perfect cherry and to create that perfect bean and ship it all the way
Wait, you got to go back. I'm a simple guy. Something about it. Now we're talking about cherries?
coffee starts off as a cherry. Starts off as a
Is
cherry.
that the coffee bean?
And no, the coffee bean is inside the cherry, so it looks identical. So if you look at a coffee bush, you're going to see cherries everywhere. The bean is actually inside, which is wrapped by parchment. So it's a whole process to get this. What people don't realize is that they just think that they take these grounds, water goes in, and goop comes out. If they knew the time and the care that went into this precious little bean, hence PLB coffee stands for precious little bean, they would know that specialty coffee is above and beyond anything that they can get in grocery stores or these huge chains.
So what's going to be the difference between something like this and I used to like the Hawaiian coffees.
The Kona coffee.
I wasn't going to say that, but that's okay.
That's okay. No, you can say, you know what?
Lion coffees.
Yeah, there's
Kona coffee, because that always tasted so strong to me.
Well, you know what? It's all in the preparation, okay? So the bean starts off one way, but if it's just like, here, let's just use for an example, a steak. You could take a great filet mignon steak and just burn it, and you're like, this was the worst steak I've ever had in my entire life. It started off great. It was grass-fed, grass-finished, organic, no hormones, no. But the person roasting it or barbecuing that steak ruined it. That's why we've teamed up with 2 amazing roasters, one in Orange, one in LA County, that takes our specialty coffee beans and roasts them to perfection to bring out all the flavor and all the nuances inside of that bean. Because when you're dealing with this mass market production that's out there, especially in some of these grocery stores where you find them in barrels, which is the worst coffee you could ever buy in your entire life because it's being subjected to air, which is the destruction of coffee. All they're doing is just taking beans and roasting them dark as they possibly can to give you that roast burnt flavor. And that's what you're tasting at the majority of these chains. When you walk into some of the great places that are around here, like a Bodie Leaf, like a Portola Coffee, or a Hidden House Cafe, these are specialty roasters that take a lot of pride in their coffee. It's just incredible the difference that you'll taste, and you'll go less cream, less sugar, because the acidity and the bitterness is practically gone from the coffee.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I never thought that much of coffee, especially...
Nobody does. Nobody ever does. But there's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. Can be ruined at the brewing process. You could have a great specialty coffee bean, and if you're not in the right coffee shop, they can just ruin the ratio from water to grounds and ruin the coffee. That's why it's really important to go to some of these specialty coffee shops that are around here. They're amazing.
And so if I don't want to go to one of those places and I'm in La Jolla, then what do I do?
And then you can go online to plbcoffee.com and you can order all that specialty coffee. You can order it in coarse ground for your French press. You can order it if you choose to use that, one of those words I don't like to use, those Keurigs. If you use it, we can do a Keurig grind for you, or we can do a drip grind for you, and you can order it right online at plbcoffee.com and have it shipped directly to your house.
Interesting information. We're going to learn more about coffee when we come back, and firearms. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're also going to talk about some free apps that will save you money. I like saving money. Remember, you can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com, or call today Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL-BRE number 018694452.
Is bad credit holding you back? Did the economic and real estate crisis cripple your credit? There is hope. There is a solution. The Ascent Network is a nonprofit organization that has been helping individuals nationwide repair their credit. Don't let bad credit and the mistakes of the past dictate your financial future. Call Ascent today to take that first step to getting your credit back on track. You can reach Ascent by calling toll-free at 877-871-2400. That's 877-871-2400. Once again, that toll-free number is 877-871-2400. Don't delay. Call Ascent today.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you still a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there is a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations. NMLS 217037 and BCAL-BRE number 018694452.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
Looking for some unique family fun? Take it to the top this summer and bring your kids to explore the top of the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway. Learn more about the trees, plants, and animals. Details at pstramway.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. They all are wrong. What are you going to do about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solution for you. How about some apps? They got an app for that. I think about an app for everything. An app for saving money without thinking about it. I wonder if I can give this to my wife. I guess I'm going to have to think about it if she hears this today. Number one, Level Money app automatically updates you throughout the day on how much spendable cash you have. I can only get in trouble there. Unsplurge helps you focus on saving with visual and community elements. Another one that's for the Apple system. Toshi Finance app creates a budget or spending plan customized for you. That's for all the systems, iOS, Android, Symbian, I don't even know what that one is. Windows, got them all. Daily Budget is another one. That's for the Apple platform. Acorns uses a clever system called Roundups to help you do it painlessly. Interesting stuff. Digit operates through the web and via text message. I could really get in trouble with this one. If I set this up on Mindy's phone and it sent me a text message every time she spends money, she already says that I'm watching her too much. Think of Simple as a checking account focused on helping you save. I can see Bill over there looking at me like, you are nuts, man. You're not going to go home today at all.
I get watched all the time.
I remember you talking about that last time you were in.
Yeah, I'm a victim.
Your Credit Matters. You look like a victim. You look like you're really misused there. Your Credit Matters segment, again, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Continuing our conversation this morning, Bill and Cheryl Murphy, Firearms Training Associates, Joe Juliani, PLB Coffee. So let's go and chat a little bit more about firearms. I'm just really enthralled with the subject matter. Obviously, it's kind of like getting a new car, right? I mean, I only started learning this, 3-4 months ago, and now I'm just fascinated with the educational aspect. So for a concealed carry permit, state of California, can anybody get it?
It's still a show need state. There's some different laws around called PERUDA that may come into effect at some point, but you have to show that you have some need that puts you in more danger than the average person. And so it's an easy standard to show in most places. Some counties are still pretty strict on it, but for the most part, you can get a CCW around the state of California, especially some of the rural counties.
I just saw that. I didn't get a chance to take a look at what they were up to this time in Los Angeles, but I think there was some new things going through the city council yesterday, the day before. They were talking about, gun regulations again.
You mean the New York of Los Angeles?
It's crazy. Unbelievable. So what do I need to do to qualify for a concealed carry permit?
Well, the whole process would be that, first of all, you decide you want to get a concealed weapons permit. Check the local sheriff's department or the chief of police if you live in a city. Find out if they're issuing concealed weapons permits, and if they are, what requirements they have. It's going to be basically that you have a good background, that you have a need, and that you go through a up to 16-hour course, and that you qualify with firearms that are registered to you, and that's really the process.
Interesting. So, and I want to throw this out for everybody to understand, because I went through the course without owning a firearm. So I just go back and get a update, so to speak. When we were little kids, they called it a booster shot. But
well, this was kind of like Special Olympics. We put you through there. And what happens is when you have a firearm, we'll come back and qualify you on your firearm. And so then that way it's gun specific. You know, it's by serial number. A lot of other states have gone to just any gun. But what happens is California still, we want to make sure that that specific gun that you're carrying, actually one of the biggest reasons that it works and that you know how to shoot it. You'd be amazed at how many firearms fail, and that, you know, a lot of guns just aren't practical for concealed carry. It's like the cop. Everybody sees the cop carrying a full-size semi-automatic pistol. Well, that pistol is very easy to fire, and they keep it in security holsters, double, triple retention and all that, where the concealed weapons person isn't in the same boat. So maybe their gun needs to have some safety devices built into it so that it's not so easy to accidentally discharge when placed into a pocket or into your waistband or something else along those different needs.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, it would certainly say that the worst thing you want to do, I mean, using a firearm is not something that I think anybody should take lightly. It's not a pleasant, I wouldn't think. But boy, if it discharges on yourself, that would really be not good news.
It's so embarrassing when you've got to go into the emergency room and say, I shot myself.
That would not be fun. Where's your school located?
We're at Rahaga's Range over in Norco, Corona area, and what happened is we're just 100 yards outside of Orange County. And so what happens is that's where our training facility is, our classroom, but our offices are here in Yorba Linda.
So if I wanted to register or to see what, because when I was there, they had a menu of courses that were coming up.
You can go online and sign up. You can call us direct. You can do all that. I think if you take a bottle and put in a registration and then go ahead and seal it, throw it in the ocean, we'll probably still get it.
Sounds great. So we've got all that interesting information.
Ron, may I give out our website?
Absolutely, please.
Okay, it's FTATV, and that's F as in Frank, T as in Tom, A as in Apple, T as in Tom, V as in Victor.com.
FTATV.com.
That's it.
What does that stand for? Firearms Training Associates. That part I got.
Television.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Our next website will be FTATV Radio.
Yeah. Do you have something against radio here? That's not.
No, I look very good on radio.
You know something? I've used that line, and you're right. You do look good on radio.
Yeah, see.
We bring other people that make us all look good. So
yeah, it's the shiny.
We've got Cheryl here to make the rest of us schlubs look good here. What else do I need to bring if I go to a class?
Well, you can come. We say as long as you have underwear, we can work with you. We can give you hats. We can give you.
I didn't notice anybody
glasses.
checking that part when we were there, but
some go commando.
Okay.
But what happens if you just show up? We'll take care of all your needs. We have everything there for you. If you want to bring your own firearm and your own ammunition, you can shop around and probably do a little bit better on the pricing and things. But we're not going to charge you anything to use our equipment. The bullets, we can't go dig them up and put them back in the casing, so we do have to charge you for the ammo.
Interesting. So I think what we're gonna do is you were good enough to bring us some basic recreational handgun class certificates. I think what we're gonna do is maybe we'll include that with our date night program. Right? Go to the range and then go out to dinner afterwards, or learn a couple. What do you think?
The family that shoots together stays together because you're too scared to leave.
I'm not going to even go there with that one. That might cause some serious problems.
But it's a family activity, and what happens, the kids love to go shoot. Everybody's even. Nobody has an advantage. Just because the guy's big and muscular doesn't mean he has an advantage. Sometimes those muscles work against each other, and what happens, the woman who's more artistic. I always say that men are autistic, women are artistic. quick, and that smooth hand, good eye-hand coordination allows them to shoot very accurately.
You know what? I can attest to that because my wife has...
She's better than you?
She is absolutely better than me, and she's
and she
licensed,
tells you.
and absolutely. And she points it out every time we go to the range. She's like, "Look at my markings on the target there, honey," and I'm like, "I know."
With training, most women actually become better firearms shooters than most men.
Well, and to make sure that they can't beat us, we give them really large calibers and short barrels. And that's why husbands never teach wives to shoot.
Oh, that would cause a serious problem.
Right.
And we always put an innocent civilian between husband and wives on the firing line.
I think we put in our class. I think they had them in separate groupings,
separate relays. Right,
that made it even better. And Joe, we can go on. Tell us that website again for this great coffee.
It's plbcoffee.com, and you can also put in Ron for a discount code.
Nice.
That'll give you 20% off.
Love it.
Also supporting PLB Coffee also supports Tosi Super Bites in their Cappuccino Crunch, which is amazing. They're just an amazing super bite that you can find in stores around.
So I'm looking at these coffees right here.
Yes.
I've got a Rebel blend that says caramel, dark chocolate, walnut, and I see a community blend that says cocoa, raspberry, lemon, guava.
Yeah.
Is that all in one blend?
Well, that's actually the characteristics of the beans when they're roasted properly. Those are the characteristics. So just like a fine wine where they say, oh, it's got hints of licorice and it's got a little bit of, funny tar or eraser or cherries, it's the exact same thing. So the characteristics actually come from the farms based on the soil, based on the elevation, based on the weather. That's what it is. And we also did this custom label for you because that's what we're known for also is custom labeling.
Nice.
For you.
Good stuff. You can actually see our ESPN 1700, KCAA, NBC, and that leads me right in. You do some good segues. That leads me right in. Unfortunately, I've got to tell everybody that we need you to set your first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our guests. If you'd like to meet them, give me a call at 800-306-1990 or go to our Facebook page. We've got them there. Very big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember my mantra, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
XEPN 700 AM Kita Bahan.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.